Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little left. They've got some missiles. They've got some drones.
Did Trump actually lie simply to pacify his own allies, only for Iran's brutal fact-check to shock the United States and expose a claim that didn't match reality on the ground? Has the IRGC now declared that its missiles will rain down for years to come, suggesting its arsenal is far more imperishable than Washington has publicly claimed? Did Iran deliberately unleash a coordinated three-front attack specifically to mock Trump's claim that its missile arsenal had already been decimated? With both Bahrain and Kuwait now facing Iran's eye directly, is it becoming clear that Tehran's missile campaign is far from over despite American assurances to the contrary? Iran's Revolutionary Guard has openly mocked President Trump, with Tehran insisting that its missile arsenal remains far from finished despite claims suggesting otherwise. On July 19, Trump publicly claimed that Iran had lost almost everything in this conflict, specifically pointing to its depleted stock of missiles and drones. The IRGC firmly rejected that claim, releasing fresh footage of brand new attacks against US forces almost immediately after Trump's statement went public. IRGC Navy said, and I quote, "The ignorant President of the United States, who has repeatedly confessed his lack of awareness and wisdom about world affairs, states that only a few missiles and drones remain for Iran and that their numbers are dwindling. He should know that, by Allah's grace, even if this war lasts for several years, until the very last day, our missiles and drones will rain down on American criminals." The IRGC announced that the 23rd wave of its Operation Nasr 2 had targeted American assets simultaneously across three separate fronts. Iran claimed that drone storage facilities located at Al-Sakar airport had been completely destroyed in this latest coordinated wave of attacks. The IRGC also claimed that TF-59 naval facilities located at Salman Port in Bahrain had suffered heavy and significant damage during the same operation. Iran claims three-front attacks on US assets. Iranian forces further claimed that US Special Naval Commando facilities located at Arif Jan had also been destroyed as part of this expanding three-front assault. Iran described all of these attacks as direct retaliation for the continued military operations that the United States has been carrying out across the region. These strikes arrived shortly after Trump had boasted that the US military had already decimated Iran's missile and drone arsenal entirely.
Well, we feel very badly, but those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little left. They've got some missiles. They've got some drones. They've got some manufacturing ability, not much. We control the strait. They don't control anything. So we'll see what happens. But we hit them very hard again tonight. And we did that in honor of the probably three as opposed to two great patriots.
All of this unfolds as senior US officials have been voicing growing concerns behind closed doors over just how capable Iran's remaining missile arsenal truly is. Iran's ability to penetrate American air defense systems during the war has reportedly surprised senior US officials. Officials told the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal they are increasingly concerned about the effectiveness of Iran's missile capabilities. According to the reports, Iran has adapted its missile tactics to better penetrate US air defense networks. The Wall Street Journal reported that Iran is using high-speed maneuvering missiles to challenge American defensive systems. The missiles are said to alter their flight path during the terminal phase of their descent, making them more difficult to intercept. The reports follow Iran's deadly missile strike on a US military base in Jordan that killed 2 American service members. The Pentagon also said 1 additional US service member remains missing following the attack. According to the New York Times, the strikes demonstrated that Iran still possesses a significant missile arsenal despite repeated US attacks. The report said US forces had been moved to Jordan before the war because it was considered a safer deployment location. However, American troops in Jordan reportedly came under multiple Iranian missile and drone attacks during the past week. Reports also said dozens of US personnel were injured and several Black Hawk helicopters were damaged during the attacks. Iran launched a fresh wave of missiles at US military targets across the Middle East as the conflict entered another dangerous phase. Multiple missile launches were reported from different parts of Iran, signaling a broad escalation in the regional confrontation. Kuwait said its air defenses engaged hostile Iranian drones after detecting multiple aerial threats entering its airspace. Statement by General Staff of Kuwaiti Armed Forces said, and I quote, "Kuwaiti air defenses are currently confronting attacks by hostile drones, following the sinful Iranian aggression." The General Staff of the Army notes that any explosion sounds heard are the result of air defense systems intercepting the hostile attacks. Everyone is requested to adhere to the security and safety instructions issued by the competent authorities. Unquote. Bahrain activated air raid sirens and urged residents to seek shelter as regional missile threats intensified. The U.S. Embassy warned that central Manama could face potential threats as security conditions rapidly deteriorated. Statement by U.S. Embassy in Bahrain said, and I quote, "The U.S. Embassy has information to suggest that Iran may seek to target unspecified locations in central Manama. We urge all Americans to remain vigilant, follow local authorities' instructions, and review the latest guidance from the U.S. Embassy." Unquote. The IRGC claimed responsibility for a second attack targeting the U.S. military base at Al-Tanf in southeastern Syria. Iranian-linked reports said the latest operation struck a U.S. Special Operations Command Center in what they described as a surprise attack. The IRGC claimed it launched missile strikes targeting U.S. military aircraft at Jordan's Al-Azraq Air Base during its latest operation. The IRGC said the missile attack inflicted what it described as severe damage on several American military assets at the base. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed local Jordanian sources provided intelligence that helped identify U.S. military targets. The IRGC claimed its strikes destroyed 20 hangars used by U.S. forces at Al-Azraq Air Base in Jordan. Iran also claimed the attack damaged U.S. C-17 military transport aircraft and P-8 maritime surveillance aircraft stationed at the base. Iran's latest missile campaign came as the United States carried out a 9th consecutive night of strikes on Iranian targets. Statement by CENTCOM said, and I quote, "CENTCOM began conducting a new wave of strikes against Iran at 7 p.m. Eastern Time today for the 9th consecutive night. The strikes will continue degrading Iranian military capabilities used to attack commercial vessels and civilian mariners transiting the Strait of Hormuz." Unquote. Statement by CENTCOM said, and I quote, "U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, successfully completed the 9th consecutive evening of strikes against Iran, July 19th, at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. CENTCOM assets targeted Iranian military command centers, air defense and coastal surveillance sites, maritime capabilities, missile and drone launch sites, and communications networks to further diminish Iran's ability to attack commercial vessels and civilian mariners transiting the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. military is holding Iran accountable at the Commander-in-Chief's direction. CENTCOM forces remain highly vigilant, focused, lethal, and ready." Unquote.